All right, welcome back to the channel. I had a subscriber request how to edit some of the YouTube videos, and I figured I'd just take you along on one of the tutorials that I made. So I have a project set up called Tutorial Edit, and I typically will go in and just leave everything intact. So this would be like my default after I've completed one, took the media offline from my prior tutorial. So I just keep using the same project over and over again. So here's my process. I'll delete the original video. I'll delete all the subtitles from the prior version, leaving the track, and then I'll remove the markers because they're going to be customized for each thing. Then I'll unlock this video 3, turn off any of the extra adjustments or text layers that I have. Video 3 would be my zooms, any callouts, any text. Video 2 is my cards for my intro. I'll show you that in a minute. And then video 1 and audio 1 and 2 are just from the tutorial. So here we deleted this last record. I'm going to right click and hit resync files. It should look in there and see, but for some reason it's been a little bit buggy. So I'm going to drag and drop that in here. So now this is the one I'm going to make a new tutorial video recording with. So I have my video 1 and my 2 audio tracks selected, and I'll just hit this F9 to edit it down in. It's kind of a quicker one. And then I'll go over, if I happen to have dialogue isolation or leveler voice isolation on, I'll shut those off because it kind of bogs down my system a bit. I'll shut those off and then I'll start editing. One thing I have is a couple of shortcuts for my keyboard. So if we pull up keyboard preferences, if I hit the 1 key, I have end to playhead selected as 1. I have razor as 2 and start to playhead as 3. And I'll show you how those shortcuts help me out in a minute. The first thing I'll do is go to my Fusion clip. This is basically my video title. So I go over there, Shift 5 to open up Fusion. So I change the title. I jump back over to the edit page. I'll lock this V2. And then my first order of business is to make a fade right here. I'll just navigate to where this title pops off the screen right about here-ish. Shift C to open my keyframe editor. And with that track selected, I'll make a keyframe on my opacity. I'll make one more just before that and pull it down just so the video will fade up right after the title. So now I'm going to start trimming out my video. Typically, I'll move everything up so I can get a better view of the audio waveform because I'm basically trying to trim out pauses and anything like that. So I keep an eye on this waveform. So I'll hit play and start going through. So I might trim this up. So I'll hit 2 to break it, and we'll hit play to move ahead. And just before the next line, I hit 3, and that trims that gap. So essentially, I'll go through the whole thing, trim out any of the spots that I feel need to be tightened up. And then if I need to zoom in on something, I'll activate video 3. And let's say I wanted to zoom here. I just keep these disabled by default. Click on it, hit D to enable. If you hit Shift and that, it toggles on and off your window. So if that's not on, I'll hit Shift tilde and my transform isn't selected, but by default, I can just zoom this around now because of this adjustment clip to zoom in on something that I need to highlight. And it has a fade at the tail and the head already. So then if I want to extend it, I'll just drag it out, but that's always there. I can option copy it if I need to. Keep going through. If I need text, I got a couple of texts here. And then I'll start making markers. Command M will pop up the marker and give you the option to name it. So I'll just give it whatever name it needs to be as I make chapter stops. So I'll go through all that. I'll move my end card here, which says thanks for watching, over to the tail of the video. And then I'll hit my out point and I'll go ahead and export. Before I do that, I always make some subtitles. So I have a shortcut key, Command Option S for me, make subtitles. It's under timeline, create subtitles from audio. I'll hit that. It'll make subtitles. Let's just do a short little section here for the demonstration. I do keep the voice isolation and the dialogue leveler off. I find that it kind of affects the subtitle creation for some reason. And if you have a lot of audio going on in the background, like let's say your demonstration has 5.1 or some dialogue in it, it's a little bit harder to create subtitles than just a clean voiceover track. Okay, so it makes subtitles, and I'll just check them. And because I already have my settings pretty much set up before I even populate the subtitle, I don't have to go back in and load a preset or anything. But if you needed to, click the subtitle track, this 3-dot menu on the upper right. is where you can load and save presets. And I have yellow submarine loaded. And so I get yellow subtitles placed where I want them. So then I'll go to the end of my video, hit out. And another important thing that I always do is add batch fade settings to my audio. Shift 7 over to the Fairlight page, and I'll zoom in on an edit here. But with that selected, I also have another shortcut to apply batch fade settings. So right there, I'll hit it. It'll add a crossfade on all the edits and a fade up, fade down on the tail end of the track. So if we navigate over to here, zoom in, you can see we now have a fade. So that just helps that out. So I'll do the batch fades, then I will do my in and out, and I'll export my video. Before I do that, I click on the track level of my voiceover, and I'll hit voice isolation in the dialogue leveler. Then that's ready for export. Then I'll right-click the subtitles and say Export Subtitle. I give it a name, and I typically been using the TTML format. Then under the timelines, right-click Timelines, Export, and then Timeline Markers to EDL. And then that gives you the blue markers as an EDL. So now we have a subtitle file, markers file, and the full video would be exported if we did that. And that's typically how I go through and edit, just to trim down the videos, add subtitles, make any zooms or text or callouts, and put markers in, and also adjust the quality of the audio, as well as the voice isolation and the leveler. Essentially my process. Thank you guys for watching. As always, leave a comment. Let me know if there's something else you want me to tackle video-wise, and I'll throw it in. See you guys on the next video.